This is the main body of the bag. It's connected to the lid like this. 2 pieces of leather for the side panels. This is the bottom panel that will support the bottom of the bag. For the sides of the bag, decorative straps. The finishing leather and straps for the charms that will decorate the bag. This is the leather for attaching the handle to the main body. This is the leather for securing the locking decoration. This is the label. This is the leather for the top and bottom of the handle. This is the cross strap. It comes with 2 pairs of scissors, thread, and needles. This is a screwdriver for securing the decorations. This is a pliers to hold the leather while sewing. This is the locking decoration. Two D-rings for the handle. These are the D-rings for attaching the charms. Metal frames that will attach to the straps. These are 2. These are square frames with chamfered corners that attach to the lid. 4 bag feet to protect the bottom of the bag. These are large-headed screws for the bag feet and small-headed screws for securing the decorations. For a more realistic finish, it's a good idea to have an additional lighter. Overlap the top and bottom leathers on the handle. We'll be sewing, aligning the 3 central holes on the top of the handle with the 3 end holes on the bottom. Fold the bottom end like this and insert one end of the D-ring. This way, the 3 pieces of leather will be interlocked and sewn. The length of thread needed for the half stitching is 4 times the length of the stitching. Since it will be 4 times the total length of the edging. Measure the thread length by adding a little extra to the length of one side. Thread one end of the thread through a needle, and as shown in the upper right picture, thread the short end once with the needle end through. The same process for the other end of the thread. After inserting the D-ring on the top of the leather as before, overlap the parts to be sewn. Insert one needle into the center of the three end holes. Insert it from the top of the handle toward the bottom. Pass the same hole through all three pieces. Another needle on the opposite end of the thread through the hole above the previous one, from the top of the leather toward the bottom. In a half-circle pattern, facing the bottom. Proceed. The needle from the top again into the next hole. Insert. The other needle through the same hole from the bottom, crossing it over. Insert. This two-needle crossing is called a saddle stitch, alternating between the two needles. While alternating between the two needles is the standard way to perform the saddle stitch. You can also start with one needle, as shown in the upper right picture. Any gaps with the other needle, as shown in the upper right picture. The stitching with one needle, now fill in. When sewing the three pieces of leather together, alternate stitches to secure them firmly. Secure the D-ring and sew in the same way. Repeat the same process for the other side. The other side using the same technique. By leaving no gaps. Now we'll finish by returning the stitch. Sew one stitch in the opposite direction. Pass the front needle through the back first. Before passing the back needle through the front, pass it through the leather and stitch once, tying a knot. Pull both needles firmly on both sides to insert the knot into the leather. Cut the remaining thread short with scissors. Burn the remaining thread with a lighter to finish it neatly. Skip the step. The same process for the other side. Repeat. Let's create a charm to decorate the bag. I plan to secure the traveler during the finishing process. The decoration. In half like this and sew. The thread should be 4 to 5 times the length of the folded needle. The length of the unfolded decoration. I'll leave it 3 times. Sewing by threading the needle on both sides of the thread. Begin. Sure to align the punch holes on the folded leather. With the same saddle stitch, crossing the 2 needles. Proceed. After you've finished sewing, instead of returning the stitch, secure it by turning it around once around the outer edge of the leather. Pass the remaining thread through the leather and stitch twice as before, then cut it short and finish. Before sewing the other side, pass the strap through. Sew the other side in the same way. Use 5 to 6 times the length of the folded half decoration. Secure the back loop and sew. After inserting the D-ring into the end of the strap, align the punch holes and hold it in place. One end of the thread through the needle about 1 full length. Hold the thread firmly with your left hand to prevent it from slipping out. Then, sew around the 2 punch holes. Wrap and pull the thread 2 or 3 times. Similarly, before passing the needle through the stitches one last time, pull the thread through both sides. Cut the thread short and finish. The D-ring adds volume to the finishing decoration and secures the strap. The decoration will be passed through the groove on the other side of the strap to secure it to the bag. A label with a circular punch in the middle. Look for there's a groove. For a locking decoration, align the foot with the 4 grooves and fold the foot inward on the back of the label and secure. Press firmly to flatten it as much as possible. Punch for the label is prepare 5 times the length of the label border. Measure the border length, then fold the thread to the same length and cut it 5 times. Both ends of the thread onto the needle. Thread. Carefully align the punch holes and sew a saddle stitch. Be careful not to snag the thread on the fastener. Finish by returning a stitch. Pass the needle through the front to the back. Then, cut the thread and burn the ends. We'll attach the left and right straps to the main body. Ten times the length of the thread to be sewn onto the strap. Prepare. Thread both ends of the thread onto the needle. The sewing method will remain the same. Carefully align the punch holes and sew a saddle stitch. Finish by returning the last stitch and repeating the same process for the other side. The handle we just made to the main body. We'll sew. The leather to the bar at the bend of the D-ring and sew. Fold the leather. Hook. So that the 3 holes in the top center and the 3 holes at the bottom are aligned. And sew to the main body. 5 times the length of the thread to be sewn. Prepare. Both ends of the thread onto the needle. Thread. Them with the main body. Align. Sew around the shield shape with a saddle stitch. Start with 1/2 to prevent the leather from moving. Firmly to prevent the leather from sagging through. With a return stitch. Finish. The other side in the same way. After attaching the handle, assemble the bottom. Attach the bottom to the inside of the opposite bag, where the handle and strap are located. The bag aligning the 4 holes. Attach it. Prepare the bag legs and the large head slit. Pass the slit through the inside first, then turn the slit from the outside to align the leg and turn it. Once the position is secure, use a screwdriver to turn the screw all the way to the end and secure it tightly. Repeat the process for the remaining 3 legs. When the bag is folded like this, you'll see a decorative fastening that won't be sewn onto the seam. This is the decorative stitch on the top line. 4 times as much thread as you'll need for the upper side of the stitching. Prepare. Needle through both ends of the thread. Since you'll be finishing the end with a return stitch, double stitch the first slit twice to ensure symmetry. Cross the 2 threads through the second hole, then wrap the needle around the first hole again. Coming back from the back of the second hole, the first stitch. From the second row onward, sew a saddle stitch. Finish by backstitching at the last wall. We'll sew the sides, starting with the side with the fastening. You can sew both sides and the lid at once, but the thread will be too long and easily tangled, so we'll do it in sections. Four times the length of the thread you'll be sewing on the sides. Prepare. Needle through both ends of the thread. Align the holes carefully and hold them in place. Sewing easier. Will make. If you don't want to leave marks on the fabric, fold a piece of paper and place it between the leather and the fabric. This part will be subject to stress every time you open the bag. So, start by wrapping the thread twice around the outside of the fabric. The stitching method is also a saddle stitch. When you reach the corner, fold the main body like this and secure it with the backstitch. Pull the corner firmly to secure it. Since the last section is also subject to stress, sew one stitch past the end of the side panel to the main body, then backstitch. Sew the other side in the same way. A decorative stitch. The thread 4 times the length indicated. Cut. Insert the needle on both sides of the thread. Just like the top stitch of the lock, double stitch the first frame. And continue with a saddle stitch. Since the very end will be finished with a return stitch, double stitching the first frame ensures symmetry. Finish the last stitch after a return stitch. Find a metal frame with all four corners at right angles. Loosen the screws to separate the frame. Align the smooth side with the pattern side and fit it into the holes on the cover. Secure both ends using the included short screws. Screw them in all the way to secure them firmly. Pass the strap through the side hole. Similarly, align the strap's shape with the frames, securing it with the screw. Repeat the same process for the other strap, passing it through the bag. Attach the care frame. After securing the bag's shape, attach the cross strap and charm. Secure the cross strap to the remaining loop of the folded back ring. Attach the charm to complete the look.